Let's get this road on the show.
Hell yeah, brother. Hello, cinephiles, and welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where three idiots talk about movies. And today, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite pirate, Captain Hector Barbossa, and a little bit of his background, and a little bit of the people he might have been based on.
Redbeard.
Yes. Just a reminder that there are spoilers ahead for movies and TV shows that you may have not seen yet, so just know that you've been warned. Currently, it's not a confirmed thing. I couldn't find it online. But I am convinced that Hector Barbossa was loosely based on there's multiple versions of Redbeard, but Redbeard's name is Barbarossa. Give me 1 second because I actually have to pull up, and you may hear the recording for a second.
Beth, you playing the bongo drums over there? What the hell?
Me? Sorry, I'm adjusting my mic.
It is a
That would be the suspension thing I have.
I sought out help for pronunciation of this gentleman's name from our good friend Eunice, actually.
Shout out Eunice.
Shout out Eunice. So, Grenadine Barbarossa. Sorry, I butchered the shit out of that.
It's okay. Better than I would have done.
Is the original Arabic name of Khair al-Din Barbaris. And in essence, he initially started off as like a pretty badass pirate. Because what he was doing at first was like with his brother, he was attacking, Spaniards and destroying like the Spaniard-controlled areas. Eventually, he became an actual privateer, similar to Barbossa does in on Stranger Tides. And then later on, of course, after a very storied naval career, he passed away in 1546.
Oh, the year I was born.
Yes.
I'm sorry, did I just hear a
I
woo?
told you it was gonna freeze.
Oh.
Sorry, I put vodka in the freezer and it fucking froze.
Which it's not supposed to do, but
Yeah,
there's
it's not supposed to do that.
It's literally.
Hey, yo, if you have vodka and it froze,
Listen to it.
vodka.
Listen to it. Oh shit! The bridge. Fuck! Can you grab it?
Oh, shit. And now she's covered in vodka. That damn alcoholic.
Fuck! My assistant got me a towel. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Now, everyone's favorite part of the episode, This Week in Hollywood. Isaiah, take it away.
I don't know what the hell that was. Anyway, filmmaker Woody Allen is shutting down claims revolving around the director's possible retirement after his next film, Lost 22. Woody Allen has officially stated that he does not plan on retiring after his next film. In an interview, the famed director said a lot of the thrill is gone, and then followed it up with, "I feel that yes, I will work again in film, but I might have to turn to writing." Allen's representative stated after the interview that Woody Allen never said he was retiring, nor did he ever say he was writing a novel. He said he was thinking about not making films, as making films that go straight or very quickly to streaming platforms is not so enjoyable for him. He's a great lover of the cinema experience, Currently, he has no intention of retiring and is very excited to be in Paris shooting his new movie, which will be his 50th movie.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Tubi, yes, it still exists, is now taking the highly publicized trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard and adapting it into a film. It is said to star Mark Hapka and Megan Davis as the infamous pair. Honestly, I don't know what's worse, this or the Tiger King spinoff Joe versus Carol. I don't know if you guys ever saw the trailer.
I did not see the spinoff.
The trailer is rough.
Since this season is about Pirates of the Caribbean, it only feels right to announce that Orlando Bloom, the actor who plays Will Turner and is a total heartthrob for women everywhere, has been officially casted in Neil Blomkamp's Gran Turismo. Why they adapted a video game into a fucking movie, I don't fucking understand, but we're gonna go with it. The film adaptation of the famous racing game is being produced by Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions and is also starring David Harbour and upcoming actor Argu Madekwe.
Never heard of him.
The film is slotted to premiere August 11th, 23.
That is not supposed to say argue. That's supposed to say Archie.
Wow.
Sorry. I don't know why that happened.
It's all good. Errors happen. Okay, we am so sorry to Mr. Archie Madekwe. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Anyway, Isaiah with sports.
Yeah, over here in sports world, I totally know sports. Sony has announced that they're...
Football. Woo, go balls. I know what I said.
please keep all the silence in. Anyway, Sony has announced that they are making a new Karate Kid movie, this time with a new twist. Although no official details have been announced, there are rumors that the story will revolve around a young kid teaching the older figure instead of the other way around. The movie has been announced for premiere on June 27th, 2024. I do believe it is not a continuation of Jackie Chan's Karate Kid, but of like the Ralph Macchio one.
After last year's debacle with the Oscars, I think we all know what I'm talking about. This year, the CEO and other members of the Academy of Performing Arts are exploring streaming options for the event. Over the years, the ceremony has received a decline in viewership, and this type of change may increase it or just might be the downfall.
And lastly, a Constantine sequel has finally been greenlit for production. Keanu Reeves and Francis Lauren will both be returning to continue the story of the 2005 supernatural thriller. There isn't that much details out so far, but we will keep you posted with release dates and any other important news.
We'll make sure Lewis is on top of it.
Yes.
And that concludes This Week in Hollywood. You can find all of our sources cited on our Discord in the Sources channel.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, Lewis, I need a drink. What do you have?
Today, on Big Lou's Big Brews, we have the Captain Barbossa.
Oh,
Yeah.
rest in peace.
Spoilers. Just kidding. It's okay.
She got scared.
You said it's called Captain Barbossa?
Yes, it is called the Captain Barbossa. Here it is. This is it. There's variations to this recipe. There's
Pretty.
another one that I saw that was supposed to be in a martini, but I think this actually fits it more accurately. Our description here is: it's time to add another cocktail to our treasure chest of pirate classics. This tasty treat is inspired by that apple-loving plunderer from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie series. Played by the venerable actor Jeffrey Rush, Captain Hector Barbossa is a rather humorous character that certainly embodies the spirit of an old-world pirate. Melding apple juice, pineapple juice, black rum, and spice rum, we bring you our delicious featured cocktail, the Captain Barbossa. Cheers!
That was dumb. Don't say that ever again.
Yeah.
Also, did you say black rum? That's a thing.
Yes.
Huh.
Look up Kraken.
Oh, Kraken rum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the main one I know.
They also got a really cool bottle. Where can we find this Captain Barbossa recipe?
It's featured on a website called bestestrecipes.com. And our ingredients are going to include 1.5 ounces of Captain Morgan black rum, 1.5 ounces of spiced rum of your choice. It could also be Captain Morgan. 2 ounces of cloudy apple juice. Clear apple juice also works. 2 ounces of pineapple juice and a splash of grenadine. We're going to use a lime little garnish. But yeah, I honestly, I like the idea of incorporating a black rum. I'm going to also look up what the hell makes it black rum. And I'm going to give it away to you guys while I look that up so I can get your opinions on it.
Isaiah?
Yeah, black rum, spice rum, cloudy apple juice, pineapple juice, splash of grenadine, lime wheel garnish. I feel like it's a 3.5 out of 5. I don't know how I like rum. I do like rum.
He doesn't like pineapple juice.
I don't like pineapple juice. It's not a good texture. But I feel like it kind of reminds me of a Bloody Mary, the way it looks. I don't know why.
It does, yeah.
I know it. I know it has nothing. It, like no similar ingredients to a Bloody Mary, but like I don't know. It's
the cloudy apple juice that's doing it.
Yeah.
If you did clear, it'd be fine.
Yeah. But I don't feel like it'd be my style. I like fruity stuff.
3.5, you said?
I did, yes.
Okay. I think I would also give it a 3.5 because I've never had black rum, and I'm not sure if I've had spiced rum.
Spiced Bacardi.
Spiced would be
Bacardi.
Really?
Yeah.
Or even just your basic Captain Morgan bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I mean, everything else sounds fine with me. It's just the black rum. I'm not sure if I would really like it. but it sounds like a good like beach kind of drink, like
Sure.
all of these do, just because, I mean, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. So, of course, it's going to be a beachy kind of drink. So, yeah, I'd give it also like a 3.5.
Okay, that's fair. I've added a picture of some black rum brands. There's the Kraken rum. But I've added a picture of some of the other like blackstrap rum or dark rum, as they're referred to. The reason it can appear black or like shades darker than your normal rum that's been aged in a cask for a few decades even is that they're going to add caramel or molasses to it. So it's distilling.
Molasses.
So is it sweeter then?
It could have a sweeter taste, yes.
Oh, well then I probably would like it. So yeah, I'm going to keep it at a 3.5. But
just to be safe.
It does, now that I know that it's more in the sweet, because when you said black rum, I was thinking more of like a stronger,
like a very
bitter,
strong.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing actually, but I was wondering why it was called black rum. This is something that apparently it is recommended that you use black rum with like citrus drinks. So like mixing it with the apple juice and pineapple juice would be perfect. Rather than putting it into like a third drink, like most of your other drinks that have like a more complicated components, because it's going to get overpowered. Because it can be very like light in terms of the body of the alcohol itself.
So if someone asks for a shot of Kraken rum, should I run away?
No, I don't know who's going to ask you for a shot of Kraken rum. I don't think they sell it at bars. I think it only is like you only have it at home.
Like I could find it at Total Wine, but
at my bar, if someone asks for, I have Kraken rum. So if they ask for it, if they ask for a double, I can give them a double of Kraken rum if they wanted to. All they gotta say is, "Hey, can I get Kraken rum in a shot and make it a double?"
Be careful how you word that, because it sounds like you're saying crack space
and rum.
In space rum.
Hey, yo,
can I get some Kraken rum?
Hey.
We're going with the 1950s Coca-Cola recipe.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna also go with a 3.5. I'm not really a rum person. However, this would be something that I would be willing to like drink on a hot summer day.
Damn, it's 94 proof. Kraken rum.
Yeah, it's a little stronger, but the flavor is going to be.
Oh no, I'm just like, hell yeah, I'm all for it.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we got an average of 3.5.
That's correct.
Whoa.
I'm going to need a brief intermission here as I have to go grab something, but I'll be right back.
It's Kraken rum.
No, it's not Kraken rum.
Brief intermission. Bethany, insert the
elevator music.
Oh, Lewis is back. Hi, Lewis.
Hello.
He had to get his dinner. We're on to Beth's question of the day. Now, this one's not really a question. Well, it's multiple. We're going to be doing trivia.
Yay!
So, we have 3 questions. I'm going to make this one a little bit quicker because this is probably going to be a longer episode as is. So I only have 3 questions. Best 2 out of 3 wins and gets my respect as a prize.
Wow.
So, again, you both need to have your own noises. So, Lewis, what is yours?
I got a jar of that.
Perfect. What's yours, Isaiah?
Can I have a...
It's heavy.
That's exactly what I was going to do for you, but I need one for the meantime.
Oh, I'm just going to scream.
Please scream. That would be so good. Okay. All right. So, are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
I think Isaiah's ready. Jesus Christ, my ears. So, first question. Actually, let me start this the right way. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this season's trivia game.
Annual, but not annual.
Semi-annual. No, that's not what that means. Whatever. Here are our contestants. We have Luis Fernandez. Say hi, Luis.
Bing bong, fuck your life.
Now, Luis is a mixologist. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
Now, Luis, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves? Where are you from?
The great country of Venezuela.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. Isaiah is our other contestant. Isaiah is a nerd. Isaiah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from?
I'm from the good old US of A.
Incorrect. Now, let's begin. Alrighty. First question. This is multiple choice. Each of these is multiple choice, so do not buzz in until I have completed saying all of the answers, okay? Question number 1. What ship do Will and Jack steal to pursue the Black Pearl in episode 1? Is it A, Interceptor, B, Endeavor, C, Dauntless, or D, Providence?
I got a jar of dirt.
Lewis,
A, the Interceptor.
is that your final answer?
Correct.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. Round of applause for Lewis. 1 point for Lewis.
He said correct, as in I am correct. There is no other answer.
All right. Next question. If Lewis gets this correct, he wins. So, Isaiah, you better fucking buzz in. All right. Question number 2. In what year does
I got a jar of dirt.
Lewis? What's your answer?
Please continue the question. I'm sorry.
No? What's your answer?
I don't have an answer.
I just want to see if you can guess it, because if you guess it, you fucking win. I'll give you $5 if you can guess this answer.
I don't know what the fucking question is.
Literally,
You buzzed in after I said in what year.
In what year?
That was the question.
2005.
Okay, so
Can I guess?
sure. If Isaiah guesses this correct, he wins the game.
1750?
No, okay, so let me actually ask a question. In what year does Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl take place? Is it A, 1710, B, 1720, C, 1745, or D, 1780?
Heavy.
Was that you?
That
Was
was
that
me.
Isaiah?
That was
All right, Isaiah.
1745.
No, Isaiah buzzed in first.
1745 is my guess.
Okay. In fucking correct. Lewis.
Damn, all right.
1780.
In fucking correct too. The answer is 1720.
Whoops.
She's so rude.
All right. So whoever guesses this one correctly will, I guess, just win, because it's the only other fucking question I've got. So this one's for all the marbles. Question number 3, the final question. All points are double. Who did Johnny Depp base his characterization of Jack Sparrow on?
Oh, well, actually, wait, I don't have a buzzer. Hi.
Is it 1, Mick Jagger, 2, Mike Nesmith,
Who?
3, Philip Schofield, or 4, Keith Richards?
Heavy.
Isaiah.
It's Keith Richards.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct. Good job. Isaiah wins. Well, yeah, that's my trivia.
Nice.
Voice.
Isaiah, what you got on the menu for facts? Let's hear them.
What I got on the menu? Let's learn a thing or two about Dead Men Tell No Tales, right? So, while this movie was being produced by Johnny Depp, but he happened to be going through a bitter divorce with everybody's most hated actress. However, he was chronically late to the set, to the point where it ate into the schedule. So they had to halt production for several hours at a time. It got to the point where
several hours. Jesus.
Yeah, that's if you don't know about production.
That's rough. Yeah, that's bad. I'm pissed just thinking about it.
Yeah, hours into a production is like
days worth of fixing,
and that is a lot of money. So it is. There's a lot of people just hanging around. A lot of people just not doing anything, and they're getting paid to do it. However, it got to the point where a production assistant was hired just to wait outside Depp's rented home in Australia. I believe it was Queensland.
That sounds illegal.
No, it was legal. They just sat outside and waited for a light to turn on to know that he was awake. He would then, when the lights turned on inside the rented house, they would then alert the line director and the directors of the movie, so that the production can get rolling by the time Depp arrived on set.
Jeez,
that's crazy.
However, though people did say he was still charming and very swell to be around. Nobody had any everything was chill with him, and he was usually found in between takes playing the guitar.
Hey, what a man!
That's pretty dope.
What a lad!
What a lad! Now, during this time, filming had to be halted due to his finger being cut, which
We found
which
out
we
what
later-
that was
yeah.
for.
We found out what happened there.
For those who don't know,
It was between Amber Heard and the wine bottle incident where she
Mhm.
threw it. She threw it at him, I believe, and it cut his finger, like cut the tip of his finger off.
yes,
Um,
believe so.
they ended up having to see the bandage. They ended up CGIing it off, I believe, or like covering it up somehow. Now, at the time, Jerry Bruckheimer had given the impression that it was more that his finger was cut from a car or sliding door. But
I
it's
think
not.
he also, he made up a few different excuses.
Yeah, it was from the quotes. It didn't sound like either he didn't know or he was just like because he himself said he heard a few different stories, so he wasn't sure, or he might have been giving the impression that he didn't know, or he might know. I don't know, but that was all behind closed doors on that point. Now Captain Salazar. Now the original person that the producers wanted for the film was Christoph Waltz.
That would have been dope.
Christoph Waltz plays the Nazi from Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, okay.
That would have been dope as fuck.
Yeah, he probably would have been pretty good.
Now he was given the original character wasn't called Captain Salazar. It was called Captain Brand because
Salazar's better.
yeah, but it was originally Captain Brand in the script. However, due to scheduling conflicts, Waltz had to drop out. So he had accepted the role, but he had to drop out due to another movie, and so the role went to Bardem. And the name was changed to Salazar to accompany his Spanish descent.
Isn't Captain Salazar an actual pirate too? Or
Armando Salazar?
is that what I'm thinking of?
It's his full name. Captain Armando Salazar. Is he an actual pirate hunter? I'm not 100% sure, but I'll find out. Just to jump back to Christoph Waltz, the character was named Hans Landa.
Yes, thank you, Hans Landa. I don't know how I could forget such an iconic character.
I'm actually really excited to talk about this movie.
Really?
Boy.
Continue, Isaiah.
So, screen tests were done to have other actors play Henry Turner, and those included Taron Egerton.
Oh God.
Ansel Elgort.
Oh God.
And George McKay.
Actually, I could see Ansel Elgort with longer hair, maybe.
Maybe.
What was the other one? George McKay.
George McKay. He's the guy. He's the guy, the main character from 1917.
Yeah, I could see him too. He's a good actor. He's not in a lot too, so it would have been, like I wouldn't have been like, oh, I know him from so and so.
Yes. Now, the basis of the blown up look that Salazar's crew has, with their cracked skin and all that kind of stuff, was based off cracked Earth. If you think about it,
you're just gonna say it was based off crack. We're just
they had some cracked out Kraken rum. They had some of that crack infused Kraken rum,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you think of like a dry desert, that's you can kind of put two and two together. Like, oh yeah. They look like dry desert. Let's see. So and now for the movie, they built 13 full ships. One of the ships happened to be 160 feet long. I'm not sure.
I can't picture. I can't fathom what that means.
Yeah, that's a huge ship.
Can you give me a comparison? Something else that I can picture, that I have seen in person that I could be like, oh yeah, that's the same size.
Bro.
You can do it.
Oh, well, I found a fun fact. I don't know if Isaiah already had this in his fact.
What's that?
I was looking for the... Oh, okay, I found it. Fun fact, Javier Bardem, Captain Salazar, is married to Penelope Cruz, Angelica Teach.
Did not know that.
And then Captain Salazar is named after late Portuguese Republican president and dictator Antonio de Oliveira Salazar.
That is very specific.
He was a horrible person, if I remember correctly. So,
by the way, okay, so to think of 160 feet, think of one of the super yachts you see on at the harbor.
I love how you think that I've seen a super yacht in my life. But okay, yeah, that's big.
It's pretty big. So yeah, think of a super yacht. Now to apply the makeup to Salazar and the crew, it took about 3 to 3.5 hours a day to put on. So they would sit there, they would show up and then sit in a chair for 3 to 3.5 hours getting a makeup put on. Now that was just for Bardem, because a lot of the other crew, they had a lot of prosthetics and stuff like that, but they didn't have enough time. They would spend literally all day to put on the amount of prosthetics they needed. A lot of the people had a lot of blue on them to CGI in some of the prosthetic stuff that they needed to do, like some of the burnt skin or the blown away parts and stuff like that. So, but it was a mixture of practical and regular effects. However, most of Bardom's character actually has prosthetics and makeup applied to him, and the only thing that kind of CGI'd obviously was his hair and that kind of how the side of his head on the back is kind of blown off. Obviously, they needed to CGI that part, but like 90% of his head is practical film. And now the film, the runaway bank scene, they built a prop bank around a tractor trailer, and so there's a tractor inside the bank and is driving around, and the driver had to coordinate with the rest of the crew because he could not see where he was going.
Oh my God.
So he was driving blindly.
I mean, at least it added to the sense of, idiocracy.
Yes. Now, Uncle Jack, if nobody noticed, is played by the Beatle, Paul McCartney.
Wait,
did not notice that.
Yeah.
No
So when
way.
when Johnny Depp's getting dragged through the jail, and he's like, "Dad,
Uncle Jack.
Uncle Jack." Yeah, that's
Paul
Beatle.
McCartney.
That is
Holy
Paul McCartney.
Shit. What the fuck?
So the scene in the split ocean, it was made mostly practically. So everything was very touchable. The only thing that was obviously CGI was the waterfalls and a bunch of effects overlaid. But around the water, the effects that came through the lighting, all that stuff was practically done. And to create that watery light effects, they had a bunch of lights hanging from the ceiling, and in front of said lights, they had pools of water. And then they just adjusted the lights and moved them however they needed to, and that gave that feeling of water refracting through the light refracting through the ocean onto the floor that they were walking through.
Huh.
And for our final fact, the final set filmed for the movie. So when they were filming, the very last thing they were filming, it was the scene on the beach where Johnny Depp is running with the little black pearl inside the bottle, and he's running and it's cracking and stuff like that. That's the last thing they had to film. And they had to do it in one take because them running left footprints on the sand and they couldn't reset it.
They didn't have like how like the Zen garden, they like use the little rakes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because then you would see the lines of the
But
rake.
like there's like a flat one that makes like it, like they use it for concrete and stuff.
Apparently not. What they said is they had to do it in one take because they just the way the sand worked, it just wasn't.
Come on, Disney, get your shit together.
Yeah, they said that running through the sand, they had to do it in one take.
Maybe they were timing the tide.
Maybe.
And yeah, those are all my facts.
Yay.
Excellent facts today.
Thank
you.
Let's get into some reviews.
Time for our movie break. Hell yeah, brother.
This one's going to be a doozy.
Let's get right into the reviews.
I thought he was going to say, let's get raw. What is wrong with my mind today?
I don't know, dog.
I don't know, dog.
It's that vodka I spilled on my drink, on my seat. It's getting soaked up in my ass right now.
Shit. I'm gonna lead with so this movie had the reverse for me on Stranger Tides.
Uh-oh.
So if you remember that I was saying during On Stranger Tides, you had me in the first half.
Yeah.
And in the last 30 minutes you pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I felt like the beginning, from the bank chase to up to a certain point, was just there was too much pressure on it being funny, rather than like how like the other pirate movies have kind of been funny naturally throughout, and they aren't like like putting all the quips or all the jokes in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They just like bombard you with like comedy.
Yeah, they just bombard you with comedy from the get go, like Jack waking up drunk, not knowing where he is. Dude, the mayor's wife in the fucking safe with him. The sex jokes about between Henry and
Yikes.
and Karina. He's like, "You're grabbing my port, not my stern."
Yeah, that was cringy. That was awkward.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the first half had me like kind of cringy for some of it. Some of it was actually kind of entertaining. Like watching the actual bank case and run was fun. Was like kind of funny as they started to break things. And watching, I think it was probably when they start saving them from the execution. When it started to get good, besides that cringy moment.
Yeah. So like the first 30 minutes you were lost, and then the rest you were good.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes was like, I don't even want to fucking watch this.
Mm-hmm. I felt the same way.
And then as it kept going, I was like, okay, this is starting to get better. I liked what they did with Salazar kind of mentioning like a throwback to young Jack and young Barbossa, and pre-Black Pearl days. And I was curious to see how it would play out if if they had given like more background on the other pirates around Jack, like the captain who gave him the compass. But yeah, I also thought there was something that was kind of stupid about one of Salazar's soldiers being just a fucking hand and a hat, nothing else. I thought that was kind of dumb.
I thought that was funny.
I know it was supposed to be funny. To me, it was also like, this is just kind of dumb. But that was also like me still being stuck in that, like, you've already bombarded me with so many stupid jokes at this point that like this is just not.
That's fair.
It's not hitting the right
notes.
Yeah. It's not delivering properly.
Yeah.
For me, at least. But overall, I think it was a decent film. I actually give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
I can't say I'll make more comments on it as we go along, but I don't have anything in particular that stands out for me at the second.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Captain Salazar and his crew are probably the most terrifying of the pirate curses.
Oh yeah.
And according to the wiki, they're considered the most dangerous.
Yeah. Well, they're dead. They're literally the dead. So that curse and the way they are, the way they look, how Salazar's like, yeah, I am death. I know what I am.
Their ability to run on water like Jesus.
That's what Jacob said. He's like, oh, Jesus is in the movie. I didn't know that.
God. So yeah, they're terrifying. I think they're one of the best ones. Also, the CGI effects, like the idea of what they look like and how they are, and especially the Salazar's like floating, like watery death hair.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Such a perfect effect. Like
that was
you could not get a more terrifying idea. I don't know. Whoever came up with that idea needs a raise.
It was me.
You don't get a raise. Not until we get paid.
His ship is also like I wrote it down as Monster House, but a boat.
Yeah,
it's like,
so true.
It is. It's a Monster House, but as a boat.
That is such a good movie.
I really like the boat. It's like its own character.
The Silent Mary.
Yeah, the Silent Mary. It's also, it might be the 160-foot boat that they made for the movie. I'm not 100% sure because that boat does seem very long.
Yeah.
So that might be like out of the prop ships they made, that might be the one. I couldn't find anything that confirmed which ship of the 13 was the 160-foot one. But like, thinking about it and looking
probably
at
that one.
It probably is
the one that they used the most.
Yeah. When I looked up some of the lore regarding the Silent Mary itself in preparation for our discussion, it had over 100 cannons on the original ship. Was like what the story was talking about. So I'm pretty sure it would have been.
They showed that pretty well in the movie. Like you could tell he was not overpowered, but he was definitely stronger and more.
Yeah, he had some heavy firepower to go.
Yeah,
sitting there in the middle of like a fiery ocean, just blasting left and right.
Yeah, exactly. And it lost some of the cannons obviously as part of the shipwreck effect. But the idea that it had like 100 cannons would probably also lead me to believe it would be like a 160-foot boat.
Oh yeah.
So
that's like a cannon every like 1.5 feet.
Yeah, more or less.
More or less. That's really bad math.
That's it.
I just did it after I said it.
Yeah, it's okay. We're also thinking about to comment on boats and not to take away from what Isaiah is saying. I'm kind of sad that the Queen Anne's Revenge didn't get more screen time.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't as important of a ship. Like, I feel like this one had, like, there was nothing about it in particular that stood out to me as a ship other than the ropes and everything moving around. But that wasn't the ship's thing. That was Blackbeard's thing. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
That was Blackbeard's magic. Yeah.
So it was just like a regular ship minus the fucking big ass fire cannon. That was cool. Yeah, it wasn't touched on as much as I feel like obviously the Black Pearl was, and even the Flying Dutchman. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of sad.
Now, so the British are the Spanish from the last movie. Let's just say the British, they have no point in being in this movie. It turned into a race between 3 people again, and the British were just there. They showed up, they died, and then we forgot about them.
I felt like it was satisfying watching die, though.
I mean, sure.
Cycle alert.
No, I mean,
I know it's just a joke.
No, I'm referring back to. No, I know. Like the very loose idea they made from the plot was these guys were such assholes in the beginning to Henry and Karina. And the only reason they were chasing them in the first place was to chase them, and then they realized they were going after the Trident. And they're like, no, the British Empire is going to control the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of satisfying in a sense to be like, hey, Henry, Karina, that one guy who tried to kill both of you is dead. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the British were the Spanish of this movie. Like there was no need for them. It was a plot thread that could have got cut. Now, we need to talk about de-age technology. It does not work, people. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Looking at a young Johnny Depp and the way they try to like de-age his face, but then also put it on a younger person's body, you can tell the mannerisms just weren't right. It looks so like a ventriloquist. Like
Mhm.
it just
Yeah,
did
I
not
feel like they would have been better off just hiring another person that looked somewhat similar and could act like him
Yeah.
similarly, and it would have been more acceptable for someone watching it to be like, okay, yeah, this is supposed to be a young Johnny Depp, versus that kind of just was so distracting and
Yeah, it was very. It
took you
threw
away
me
from
off,
it.
especially when he was talking from the crow's nest.
Yeah, his face was too soft. You know, it's too smooth. There was no definition or like texture.
It was definitely AI. But yeah, the technology, DA technology does not work. They need to stop doing it. Now there's more sexualization in this movie. They went back to sexualization. I feel like on Stranger Tides they didn't. I mean, they did it, but it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pertinent to a romance between Jack and they're trying to.
Yeah, it was a romance to it, so it made sense that there was that like flirtatious thing going back and forth. This one didn't. It just didn't need to do it. And then the like forced love plot, because there's always got to be a forced love plot between I actually don't even know their names, Henry and
Henry.
Rena. It felt like the mermaid and what's this the
Philip.
and Philip. It just why? What's the point? There was no need for this. Can we have some platonic people who are like, yeah, we just needed to get a mission and we understand now we're good friends. We don't need a love story. It does not have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was so forced.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. Like, if you go back in the movies, it's like Turner and Swan, and now it's Turner and a famous pirate, Barbossa.
Oh yeah.
If you want to think about it in terms of like family, but
Oh yeah, I didn't really think of it like that, but you got a point.
no, I understand like the point Isaiah wants to make. I just thought it was, at least if they're doing the forced love plot, they're at least focusing on like some kind of lineage between these people, or like with Jack Sparrow and Blackbeard's daughter.
Yeah,
It just forced. It just didn't. There was no need for it.
there was no build up.
Yeah, there was no build up. There was no
Chemistry.
development of between the two. Yeah, there was nothing there, and they were like, oh, they've had a few sexual.
Now they
jokes
love each
here
other.
and there.
And
Complete
they were like,
strangers might be ad beforehand, and now they're like, or at least Will and Elizabeth, they grew up together. You know,
Yeah.
they had this
Yeah.
whole relationship beforehand, and it was like, okay, even though we haven't personally seen their relationship, we understand that they've built one over years and years of growing up together, versus two complete strangers that are just like, ooh, I'm horny.
two complete strangers that are like, oh, your hand is on my goodies,
You're on my porch.
not my stern.
I like
And then
it's dirty talk for pirates.
yeah, and then like they go to like, you know, being that's where they first start being like intimate in a sense.
But it's like it's so short lived. There are moments where it's like they have a chance to have some sort of relationship building and like story development between the two, but it ends abruptly, and it's like it doesn't give you enough to build that like relationship off of that scene. So when they do end up kissing at the end, it's just kind of like, okay, you know, just fell flat. Yeah.
Now the whole plot that like Barbossa was this girl's dad. Okay. At this point, I'm like not surprised by anything anymore, because it just didn't. It also felt forced because there was no like build up towards it. There was no hints at it. It was
In
just
the other movies, you mean?
yeah. Even in the other, I knew like they kind of like were throwing this plot together a little bit, but it would have helped if there was some type of like hint at it. Like, damn, because it goes from, oh, I remember that book. Wait a minute, you're my daughter. Like, it was so fast. This is the shortest movie of the series, and
Thank God.
I do think that this movie could have benefited from a few extra scenes to what?
How dare you?
No, I do think this movie could have benefited from a few extra scenes to fully flesh out the ideas they were going to try,
or get rid of some other ones that weren't necessary.
Yeah, replace some other plot lines that they obviously didn't flesh out either, because they kind of put too many. Again, they put too many plot lines in there. We could have gotten rid of the whole British thing and then just focused on the relationship, and we might have cared more.
Yeah, or focused on focused on the relationship and Barbossa as a father.
Yeah, because now we have the forced relationship between Henry and I forgot her name again. What's her name?
Karina.
These characters do not live anywhere in my mind. So Karina.
Well, it's also very similar to Serena from the last one.
That is true. So Karina and Henry, right? They brought in that relationship, and then they're bringing in the Barbossa relationship between her and her dad. And then, they could have just focused on the Barbossa relationship and allocated that time to doing that, and we probably would have cared more about when Barbossa, sacrifices himself. But they didn't. They spread too thin. They focused on too many things, and therefore they only introduced the ideas and didn't flesh them out, and that's why it kind of falls a little bit flat. I do think towards the end the plot just kind of goes off the rails with the whole trident thing, and everybody's like, oh, the curse, and like we all got the idea at the same time, and then with the anchor flying through the split thing, and then Salazar's crew just kind of dies after becoming human again, and it went 0 to 100 real fast, and then it didn't give you enough time to think about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody dies, and then they're on the ship, and then the Turners are back together, and end the movie. That's it.
Yeah.
So my review of the movie is 3 out of 5. It's a fun pirate movie if you literally turn off your brain and don't think about a single thing.
I will say personally, for the Karina scene, like the constellation scene when she sees it on his arm, I'd have to go back and go back over that scene to be sure. But I feel like when he caught her, his sleeve ripped, and that's how it was introduced.
Yeah.
Not that it was like already open, but the placement was, of course,
very coincidental.
Yeah. I hate conveniences. I would. What?
Just that phrase is funny.
That phrase.
I hate conveniences.
I mean, in the sake of filming, okay, people, like when something happens.
No, I want that to be on a shirt.
I hate conveniences.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the merch ideas.
There you go.
Do you guys want to wear a shirt?
Yeah, we'll wear a shirt. But if I had to think about it from like the perspective of someone who's actually, going to be wearing some kind of constellation tattoo, especially as a pirate, it would make sense for the placement. But again, it is meant to be a convenience in the film. So.
All right. So my rating, I also gave it a 3 out of 5.
Oh, we're all on the same page today.
Yeah. I think I liked it more than I am giving it credit for. Like it had its ups and downs. It had its plot holes, and then it had parts where it was a roller coaster. There was parts where I was like, oh, this is getting really good. And then it would fall flat, but then it would build it back up, and then it'd fall flat again. But overall, I was pretty pleased with the story, especially compared to the last two, which were just not good at all to me. I liked, obviously, we already kind of touched a little bit on it, but I loved Captain Salazar. My favorite villain in the entire series. I think Javier Bardem played him so well, and he made him terrifying. Like when he talks and the blood just kind of like spits out of his mouth. Oh, so creepy. He's creepier than most horror movie characters that I've seen. Like they did it well, because it was like, because the thing is I'm going to go on a little side tangent real quick. With horror movies, when they reveal the monster, they kind of just nix the whole like terrifying aspect. They're like, well, okay, well now you've seen the creature, so we're not going to try and make it as creepy. But like they did it so well with this that even the little tiny details, like the way he would talk, and like you could hear the anger and the rage in his voice when he would speak, and then the blood and the hair and the crack. It was so good. 10 out of 10. I really liked the introduction to the guillotine because I actually ended up doing a little bit of research, and that was around the actual timing that the guillotine was being introduced in that area and everything. So it would be historically accurate for no one to have heard of it yet, you know?
Sounds French.
Yes. I liked that little segment. I do like the fact that when Jack, like when we see the flashbacks of Jack and he kills Salazar and his crew, quote unquote, and his crew gives him tributes and stuff. I do like that some of the tributes were things that Jack still wears now. So like the beads in his hair and obviously his hat and stuff. And it just gives a little more story to his character, you know, a little bit of detail where it's like, oh, and it changes not your perspective on the character, but it just helps build up certain characteristics within them. I also thought the CGI overall was just amazing. Like Salazar's entire crew was great. I also thought the island of stars looked really cool. How like that bird's eye view shot with the where it basically looked like a galaxy. That was fucking amazing.
Thought they had transposed a galaxy.
Yeah, I'm surprised none of the pirates like started just stealing stars.
Yeah,
Right.
I was too. What I did not like was obviously young Jack. CGI. Very, I was trying to do that suspense of disbelief and bullshit, but it was just maybe today they could have done a bit better on it to make it a little more convincing, but it was to the point where it was so jarring to me.
This movie was made only like 5 years ago.
Yeah, but we've come a long way since 5 years.
But I mean, base it off of the first Pirates movie. Their CGI was so good.
That's fair. It's kind of like they just gave up on it. Well, like you can do de-aging right.
Yeah.
Like, there's very few films that have done it well, like The Irishman. I think Gemini, I heard, was pretty convincing looking too with Will Smith. Gemini Man or whatever. So like you can do it right, but then you have instances like, for example, Star Wars Rogue One with fucking Princess Leia or Grand Moff Tarkin, and it just looks really wrong. You know, there's just something off. It's too smooth. There's not enough texture in the skin. The movements are almost, it's almost like they try to make up for the fact that it's digital, so it doesn't look too robotic, but they overdo it and it becomes too smooth where it's not even human like. So it's like that uncanny valley. Another thing, I just didn't like Jack Sparrow in this movie. I don't know how you guys felt about him, but he was just like not Jack Sparrow. He was just drunk the entire time.
He was a washed up drunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, I get maybe because, but like they don't touch on it.
Here's a theory.
He was actually drunk.
Here's a theory. The syphilis. So, remember how we discovered, like with Jose, that he had that patch on his chin because of syphilis.
Yeah.
The syphilis is entering its third stage, which is brain neurosyphilis. So it's affecting his brain.
He's quite literally going insane.
Not even literally going insane.
It could be why he was hearing voices in that one scene.
It's not even so much going insane, but like a matter of he's losing parts of his personality and stuff that would normally make him, Jack Sparrow. And then since he's, he lost the Fountain of Youth, he lost all these other things. He's like, well, I'll be a pirate again one day. And he's, drinking all the time and tries to steal a bank and da-da-da.
But I'm just going to say it now. If they ever do come out with the sixth one somehow, I want him to die from syphilis, or at least make the syphilis a huge part of the story, because that would be a great setup all the way from episode one. It slowly dives it. Like that would make me be like, okay, this is great. This is a great
sequence. So I remember that when I was watching the movie actually earlier, I noticed that my first thought when the wife of that dude comes out of the vault and is like, I'm like thinking to myself like, she has syphilis now. And if he, if they like reconvene or reconnect in their marriage or whatever, he's gonna have syphilis. But
You're just
Connecticut's-
the whole movie in the back of your mind. You're just thinking about STDs.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just thinking about a STD that's destroying his brain. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying about him not really being Jack.
Yeah, there's a lot of notes that I wrote, but I'm only just going to mention a couple more things that I think are important. Most importantly, can we just talk about the fucking zombie sharks for a second?
Oh,
What zombie sharks?
The zombie sharks. The zombie sharks, man. Those I saw that and I was like, all right.
it's a shame you say that because they were very proud of making real life zombie sharks.
Oh, I mean, they were cool. Don't get me wrong. They were neat, but it was also just like the Kraken was cool. The Kraken was perfect. Everything about it was great. I don't know what it was about the zombie sharks. I think that just was more funny to me than actually
really
like, I don't know if that was their intention or not. If it was, then that's fine. But if they were trying to actually make it like, oh my God, this is a real threat, I didn't take it like that.
No, I mean, it really, so they lack, the sharks show up. And the first thought I have is when I see Karina jump into the water, I'm thinking like, I know the sharks are chasing Jack, but aren't they just going to eat whoever's in the fucking water?
Yeah, right?
So why didn't they go straight for Karina and then they had to like save her? No, they just went straight to the boat, took a couple bites out of the boat, started eating a fucking dress, and then one of them became fucking speed racer for Jack and drove him to shore.
Wait, hey, man, what do you call it? There's zombie sharks. They ain't smart.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm not saying they're smart, but it was just, yeah.
Lastly, I'm just gonna quickly, briefly touch on this, and then I'll be done because this is a long episode. I have to edit. I wrote. I'm literally going to read out my bullet points because I think you guys will enjoy this. Johnny Depp doesn't look too great is one of the bullet points I wrote. Literally means it because of, the shit he was going through during the time.
Sure.
A ship that opens ? Exclamation point.
Oh, I said it. Monster House is a boat.
Statue lady from Sal's ship ? Exclamation point. Ending equals eh. And I also wrote Will Turner is just like his dad. Thank you.
Barnacle Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, he acted too similar. It was kind of annoying. I was like, this isn't Will Turner anymore. This is a guy who's trying to act like another person. And he's doing it terribly. He's like, you're not supposed to be here. I was like, what happened to your voice? Why do you sound like you're trying to be like Darth Vader or some shit? So yeah, 3 out of 5.
Also, I was waiting for Turner to like suddenly turn into Davy Jones.
Oh, we need we had to talk about that. There is a ending scene. If you guys
Post
don't know,
credits? Marvel, get out the fucking way.
There's a post-credit scene for this movie, and it is the return of Davy Jones.
I missed that. Don't spoil it. I'm gonna go watch it.
So yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, don't talk about it. Because I'm literally going to watch this as soon as we finish recording.
She's excited.
I am. I didn't know that. I mean, obviously the post-credit scene just got spoiled, but I want to see it still.
So yeah, that exists. It's just funny because I think they thought they were going to make another movie, and then everything went to hell.
And now we're getting a Johnny V. Depp, Johnny V. Heard trial movie.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up the episode, we actually are going to be adding in one more segment. So usually we tend to do a grand finale episode at the end of each season. However, we feel like those episodes are always really short and kind of eh. So we're now officially incorporating our tier rating into the last episode of our season. Instead of making it its own thing, it's going to be now included, just so you're aware. So we're going to now rate the entire franchise of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Let's go.
If our lovely Isaiah could pull up tiermaker.com, we are not sponsored. We can get right on that.
How do I share my thing?
Now, while Isaiah is pulling that up, I do want to remind you guys that next week is our listeners episode. So be on the lookout for that to see if your name is included. So for our tiers, we have S tier being top, A being right below it, following with B, C, D, F, and then that's pretty much it. So we've got
watched that, but we all watched it.
Yeah, there's a never watched tier, but we've all watched it. Yeah. Alrighty, so let's start with
Pirates 6. Never watched it.
Yeah. All right, let's start with Curse of the Black Pearl. I think that's an anonymous vote of S tier.
Lou, do you agree?
Unanimous.
Shut the fuck up. It's anonymous. Nobody one knows who just voted.
Unanimous vote between the three of us.
Anonymous,
Listen,
vote.
I was homeschooled.
It's okay, it's a homie.
It's a homie.
Next, Dead Man's Chest.
Dead Man's Chest. What do you think? I'm thinking.
I personally want to say S tier, but I feel like since there's only 5, we should each one should have their own tier. So I'm going to say A.
No.
No?
I think this one and the next one are both B's.
Sure.
Lewis, what do you think?
I would agree. It's a B.
Yeah, they're both. I feel like they're both.
I didn't say both. I said.
Whoa!
No, I didn't say both. I said the second one would get the B tier.
Jump in the
gun there, Isaiah.
Jump in the gun there, buddy.
I personally think that they're both like not.
I think 3 is a C.
Yeah, we can move 3 to C.
All right, but now I voted C. It is. I do think though that both of them are good in their own merit, but they have different faults. But they kind of equal out to both being a B tier movie. But
you should change the never watched tab to I wish I never watched, and that's where we're going to leave.
Oh wait, I'm an idiot. Sorry. Listen, I think number 3 should be fucking F tier. It's like my least favorite. But how about this? How about Isaiah? I'm gonna make you a deal, an offer.
Yeah, offer me something.
An accord.
You can put episode 3 in the B tier. If you let me have 2 in A tier.
Deal.
Beautiful. Deal. Pleasure doing business with you.
Okay. Now on Stranger Tides, how are we all feeling about
bottom of the list?
F. You think it's F?
Yes.
No, it should be an I wish I never watched.
Damn.
Make a new tier.
F for fucking garbage.
A. And then
Dead Man Telltale feels like a D.
At this point, I feel like just raise them both up and just make it 5 tiers, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like, oh, nothing's in between.
Nothing's terrible. Like they're all their own fun little adventures, but there are ones that are better than the others. So
our official tier is pretty much almost completely in order, except we have the last 2 switched. So it goes number 1 is number 1, Curse of the Black Pearl. Number 2 is Dead Man's Chest. Number 3 is At World's End. Number 4, instead of it being on Stranger's Tides, we have number 4 as Dead Men Tell No Tales. And then number 5 in last place is on Stranger Tides.
I do find it very funny that the most expensive movie in this list is the
worst.
But like the Dead Men Tell, I feel like Captain Salazar's character and the way they built him and the way Harvey Bardem plays him is what saved this movie.
I literally had that written down in my notes, was that he was the sole reason that movie was good.
Oh, I do wonder how Christoph Waltz would have played him had he been here.
I just don't think it would have been a completely different character, like you said, like not even Captain Salazar.
Yeah, but Christoph Waltz as John, or whatever his name was supposed to be, John Brand, would have been on the same level as Salazar, just a different character overall.
Mm-hmm.
God, Christoph Waltz, amazing actor.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. We have Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify at Silver Screen Sips. And don't forget Twitter at Silver Screen Sip with no S. Next week, October 3rd, is our listeners episode. So be ready to see if your name's included. If not, go ahead and shoot us an email at silverscreensips@gmail.com with your movie suggestion. And who knows, maybe you'll be featured in the next one and we'll review and rate your own movie. That concludes our Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Yoo-hoo! Before you leave, don't jump out just yet. We have an announcement for our next season. Now, normally we do a poll so you guys can vote on what series we're doing next. But sorry, we took the reins on this one. And have decided to go with the Halloween series. And Isaiah went through and picked the ones that actually are canon.
Yeah, because if you don't know, there's like 23 Halloween movies.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell us which ones we're going to be watching.
From officially what they did is they officially nixed all of the movies except for the original one that came out in 1979. And then its official sequel is the one that came out in 2018, Halloween, and then Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, which will be coming out this October, meaning we will be watching it. It will be the end of a franchise, and that episode will be coming out on Halloween Day, hopefully, if our schedules don't change.
Yes, we are going to try and stick to it so that your entire Halloween season will be Halloween themed. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We will see you guys in next week's listeners episode. Bing bong.
Bing bong.